Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Yeah, I know it's been a while since I last posted the video, sorry for the trouble. Now onwards I will be regular to post the video. Now this will new story of Ash Ketchum, in which Ash will be conquer every league from the start. It will be the emergence of new Ash from the betrayal of his old traveling companions and rivals. Let's start the video. Chapter 1, Start of a Journey. The story starts 2 years after Ash's journey in Unova, and he is taking on all the leagues he previously battled in. I will try to go in depth into every region except for Kalos, Alola, and Galar. Although Ash will have Kalos Pokemon and it will be mentioned, he won't actually travel through Kalos because there just isn't enough from the anime to judge characters' personalities, and I don't want to just guess what a character's personality will be like. Underscore 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 on. Johto Silver Conference Finals 2 years after Unova. This is it, my chance to finally beat him. Ash thought as he sat on the bench in his locker room waiting for the battle to start. We've been waiting years for this, haven't we, buddy? Smiling brightly, Ash turned his head and gazed at his ever-faithful companion, Pikachu. We're gonna kick some serious ass. Pika Pika. Pikachu responded with a fiery determination, pumping his fist into the air. Pikachu. Despite his enthusiasm, Ash was on edge because he was finally getting the chance to face off against Tobias again. Years earlier, Tobias had stopped Ash from achieving his dream when he was close to winning in Sinnoh. Ash was furious beyond belief at this loss. The fact that Tobias was allowed to just waltz through gym's battles and the Lily of the Valley Conference with his legendary Pokémon, without anyone so much as giving him a second glance, seriously upset Ash. Well, this was Ash's chance to finally get revenge against Tobias. Red Trainer, you're up. An official called out as he poked his head into the locker room. Please make your way onto the battlefield. Well, it's now or never, buddy, let's go. Ash said, taking a deep breath and getting off the bench. Dashing over, Pikachu hopped onto Ash's shoulder as they headed toward the tunnel that would lead them to the field. As Ash stepped out into the stadium, he was overwhelmed by the deafening shouts and cheers. Gazing up into the stands, Ash quickly spotted many of his friends cheering him on, especially Dawn, who stood out in her cheerleader outfit. Then Ash saw him. On the other end of the field stood Tobias, a cocky grin plastered on his face. A low growl rumbled in Pikachu's throat as electricity sparked from his cheeks. Easy, buddy, save it for the battle. So Ash, we meet again, I hope you're stronger than last time. Tobias arrogantly said as crossed his arms underneath his chest. Because our previous battle was quite disappointing. Well, you'll get to experience firsthand just how much stronger I've gotten, Tobias, Ash spat out in an annoyed tone, his eyes narrowing slightly. I just hope you won't disappoint me. This will be a full 6-on-6 with no substitutions. Are both trainers ready to battle? The official yelled, which caused both Ash and Tobias to nod. Then let the battle begin. Darkrai, end this quickly. Tobias coldly said, enlarging and tossing out a Pokeball. With a bright flash of light, the pitch-black Pokemon materialized on the battlefield, levitating in front of Tobias. I hope you're prepared to be engulfed in never-ending nightmares. Big surprise there, and I can bet who's up next. Ash thought with a hint of disgust as he rolled his eyes. Reaching onto his belt, Ash grabbed a specific Pokeball. Primeape, I choose you. With a crash, the pig monkey Pokemon landed on the field, aggressively pounding his chest. I hope you're ready to let loose, Primeape. So Ash got Primeape back. Misty and Brock said simultaneously, both of them staring at the boisterous Pokemon in surprise. Darkrai, use Dark Void. Tobias said with a smirk as he made a sweeping gesture with his arm. However, he was surprised to notice that Ash had not given Primeape any type of command. A split second later, Dark Void hit Primeape, but as the pitch-black sphere disappeared, Primeape stood unfazed. "What the hell? Vital Spirit?" Ash simply replied with a smirk of his own, knowing he completely countered Tobias' main strategy with Darkrai. Now Primeape used close combat. The pig monkey Pokemon grunted as it launched a barrage of super effective punches and kicks into the dark type. "Now, let's finish this Primeape, use Ice Punch." Primeape then launched himself toward Darkrai at high speed, quickly closing the distance between them. "Darkrai, quick, use Thunderbolt!" Tobias exclaimed in a panic as he began to grit his teeth in frustration. Luckily, Darkrai managed to fire off a Thunderbolt at the last second. Primeape roared in pain as it fell to the ground paralyzed. "That was too close. Come on Primeape, you have to get up," Ash encouraged with a hint of worry in his voice, tightly balling his fists. With great effort, Primeape grunted in exertion and got back onto his feet. "Nice job, Primeape. Okay Darkrai, now use Ice Beam." Rising higher into the air, Ice-type energy began to gather in front of the pitch-black Pokemon. "Take out that damn ape. Now I've got you," Ash thought with a grin, knowing he had this battle won. Primeape dodged and used close combat again. Leaping to the side, Primeape managed to dodge Ice Beam and nailed Darkrai with a second close combat, knocking it out instantly. "Alright. Great job, Primeape. Darkrai is unable to battle. Primeape wins." The official called out as the crowd exploded into cheers. Tobias stood in utter disbelief for a few moments, before he returned his Pokemon silently. His Darkrai had been taken out without defeating a single one of Ash's Pokemon. "Tobias, please bring out your next Pokemon." "Alright Latios, you're up," Tobias yelled, throwing the Pokeball high up in the air. Letting out a mighty howl, the Ian Pokemon blazed a lap around the battlefield, before stopping in front of Tobias. "You're in for it now, Ash." "Ha! I was right," Brock yelled as he chuckled, smirking at the blonde-haired boy sitting next to him. "Now give me my money." Barry begrudgingly handed over the money to Brock. "Thank you. What did you guys bet on?" May asked, somewhat interested, quirking an eyebrow. "It was probably something stupid. I bet that Tobias would use Latios immediately after Darkrai was defeated, but Barry thought there was no way Tobias would do something so predictable, but I guess I was right, wasn't I, Barry?" Brock asked mockingly, which earned him a fierce glare from Barry. "I guess Tobias is predictable after all." "Screw you, Brock." Barry huffed, puffing out his cheeks as he began to pout like a child. "And screw Tobias too, predictable idiot." "What a little kid," Iris muttered, shrugging her shoulders and shaking her head disapprovingly. "Not even Ash would act like that." "Latios vs. Primeape, let the battle begin," the official exclaimed as he made a grand sweeping motion with his flags. Primeape quickly used Ice Punch. With his fist glowing with ice-type energy, Primeape roared defiantly and charged toward Latios. "Latios Luster Purge!" Tobias calmly commanded as Latios flew up into the air, gathering the necessary amount of psychic-type energy. Moments later, Latios launched the massive attack directly at Primeape. Unable to dodge in time, Primeape was hit full on and collapsed to the ground with swirls in its eyes. "Now that was excellent, Latios. Primeape is unable to battle. Latios wins," the official declared after he finished inspecting Primeape. "Ash, please bring out your next Pokemon." "You did an amazing job, Primeape, now get a good rest," Ash said with a small smile, returning the pig monkey Pokemon back to its ball. Grabbing another Pokeball off his belt, Ash tossed it into the air. "Charizard, I choose you." Charizard exploded onto the field with a mighty roar, sending out small shockwaves. The crowd's cheers increased, seeing Ash's most famous Pokemon make an appearance, next to Pikachu of course. Back in the stands, Max's eyes bulged when he witnessed the massive power Charizard possessed. Time to heat things up, Charizard. Latios vs. Charizard, let the battle begin. The official exclaimed as he gestured for the battle to start. Now Charizard start things off with flamethrower. Latios had no time to react as it was engulfed in a stream of searing flames. Latios was relatively unharmed but had been left with a serious burn, slowly damaging it over time. Keep up the pressure, Charizard. Latios use Ice Beam. Inhaling deeply, the Ian Pokemon unleashed a powerful blast of Ice-type energy. Charizard however easily managed to dodge the attack, which led to Latios taking more damage from its burn. Damn it! He's trying to whittle me down with that burn. Okay, Charizard, let's finish this with Dragon Claw. Charizard flew towards Latios at an incredible speed, its hands glowing bright blue. The flame Pokemon slashed Latios with Dragon Claw, slamming it to the ground and knocking it out. Nice job, Charizard. Latios is unable to battle. Charizard wins. The official declared, signaling for the battle to stop. Tobias was livid that the battle wasn't going the way he has expected it to. However, when Tobias noticed Ash's face, he saw that it was full of anxiety and worry. The raven-haired trainer was usually full of confidence, but he had no idea if Tobias had other legends or not, and that worried him. Tobias, please send out your next Pokemon. Now Suicune, let's end this. Tobias yelled with renewed confidence, tossing out his third Pokeball. With incredible grace, the Aurora Pokemon landed on the battlefield. Take out this overgrown fire lizard. Shit, he does have more legends, this isn't good. Ash thought as he tightly balled his fists in frustration. Just how many legendary Pokemon does this bastard have? Suicune vs. Charizard battle begin. The official exclaimed, using his flags to signal for the battle to start. Suicune, hit Charizard with Hydro Pump. Inhaling deeply, Suicune unleashed a massive stream of water from its mouth. Charizard was just starting to lose steam after the battle with Latios, and it barely managed to dodge Suicune's Hydro Pump. The flame Pokemon landed back on the battlefield panting heavily and sweating. Ash was worried about Charizard's exhaustion, and because he hadn't even used a single attack against Suicune yet. Don't let Charizard breathe, Suicune. Keep up the pressure. Charizard, use Slash. Charizard gathered up all its remaining strength and rocketed towards Suicune, attacking the Aurora Pokemon full force with Slash. Suicune was sent skidding back several feet. Now follow it up with Dragon Claw. Suicune, end this with Hyper Beam. Suicune quickly gathered the energy for the attack and fired at point-blank range. Charizard had no chance to dodge the powerful attack and was hit full force in the chest, sending him flying into the stadium's wall. When the dust and debris finally began to settle, the flame Pokemon was collapsed on the ground. Excellent work, Suicune. Charizard is unable to battle. Suicune wins. The official declared as he stepped away from Charizard's unconscious form. Ash, please bring out your next Pokemon. Ash stood in stunned silence for a few moments. He had expected Charizard to do a little more damage to Suicune, but at least one attack was better than none. Returning Charizard, Ash released a light sigh and stared down at the Pokeball. Mr. Ketchum, please send out a Pokemon. Sceptile, I choose you. Ash exclaimed, enlarging another Pokeball and tossing it onto the field. Sceptile was one of Ash's strongest Pokemon, so he had full confidence that he could beat Suicune. Tobias was also slightly worried because Sceptile was the one who had managed to defeat Darkrai in their first battle. But Tobias managed to keep a straight face, hiding his trembling hands. Time to show everyone how much stronger you've become, Sceptile. Are both trainers ready to begin again? The official asked, which earned him nods from both Tobias and Ash. Then let the battle continue. Sceptile vs. Suicune, start. Sceptile, start with Energy Ball. The forest gathered the green ball of grass-type energy and fired it at Suicune. However, the Aurora Pokemon managed to dodge the attack but ended up stumbling slightly as it landed. I guess that slash did more damage than I thought, good job Charizard. Ash thought to himself, a smirk spreading across his face. Sceptile, quickly while he's recovering, use Leaf Blade. The leaves on Sceptile's arms grew and began to glow bright green as he charged towards Suicune. The super effective move connected and Suicune briefly fell to the ground, but with much effort, it managed to get back up. Let's finish the Sceptile, use Leaf Storm. Letting out a mighty roar, Sceptile launched an extremely powerful Leaf Storm at Suicune, instantly knocking it out. Way to go Sceptile! Suicune is unable to battle, Sceptile wins. The official declared, signaling for the battle to stop. Toby's was getting sick of the back and forth wins between Ash and him. The raven-haired trainer on the other hand was so excited he could barely contain himself. Tobias, please send out your next Pokemon. I'm actually gonna beat him. It's gonna happen. Ash threw as giddy excitement flowed through his whole body. I can finally beat this prick. Heatran, end this now. Tobias yelled as he released yet another legend, the Lava Dome Pokemon crashing onto the battlefield. As Heatran was released, Sceptile visibly paled, feeling the temperature on the field rise dramatically. Ha! Looks like your Pokemon is already shaking. Don't worry Sceptile. Just do your best. Ash exclaimed, trying to encourage his frightened Pokemon. I know how strong you are. Heatran vs. Sceptile battle begin. The official declared as he waved his flags to signal the battle to continue. Heatran use Magma Storm. Heatran's cheeks began to bulge, before it spewed a huge volley of scorching hot magma at Sceptile. However, Sceptile managed to leap to the side and dodge the powerful attack. Burn him to ashes, Heatran. Sceptile, charge and use Leaf Blade. Sceptile didn't like the idea of running headlong at Heatran, but he trusted Ash's decision. Heatran use Heat Wave. Sceptile wasn't able to dodge this time and was hit with the intense attack. Despite this, the forest Pokemon managed to land a critical hit against Heatran, however the Lava Dome Pokemon looked completely unfazed. Heatran finished this with Fire Blast. Heatran unleashed the massive explosion of fire straight at the forest Pokemon. Sceptile, you have to dodge it. Ash yelled in desperation, knowing there was not much else he could do. But as Sceptile tried to dodge the attack, he was struck by an unnoticed burn effect. As Sceptile flinched, he was hit with the full force of the fire blast. Throwing Sceptile into the wall, burned and knocked out. Sceptile is unable to battle, Heatran wins. All of Ash's friends in the stands were starting to get worried for him when they heard the official's declaration. Ash, please send out your next Pokemon. Come on Ash, we believe in you, May, Dawn, and Iris all thought as they clasped their hands together. This isn't going well. Ash thought, tightly balling his fists. But I believe in my Pokemon, we can still win this. Grabbing another Pokeball and enlarging it, Ash tossed out his next Pokemon. Infernape, I choose you. Letting out a fierce roar, one of Ash's most loyal Pokemon landed on the battlefield. Dawn, Barry, and Paul all lit up upon seeing Infernape battle again. Let's do this, Infernape. Heatran vs. Infernape, battle begin. The official announced as he waved his flags. Infernape, use Mach Punch. Infernape's fist began to glow blue before he launched himself at Heatran at a speed so fast if you blinked you would have missed him. Heatran was sent flying back as the super effective move took its toll on him. Coming to a skidding stop, Heatran shook its head to clear away its grogginess. Heatran, use Flash Cannon. Tobias was in serious trouble, none of Heatran's moves would do much damage against Infernape. Infernape tried to dodge the attack, but his timing was off and he was grazed by the beam, sending him skidding back towards Ash. Infernape, end this with close combat. Infernape sprinted toward Heatran at an incredible speed, his eyes full of rage and determination. "You can do it, Infernape." Heatran quickly used Flash Cannon again. Tobias yelled, but he knew this battle was already over with. Even though the Flash Cannon managed to graze Infernape once again, he pushed through and threw punches and kicks directly into Heatran. To end the barrage, Infernape grabbed by the leg and threw him in the air. Charging up another Mach Punch, Infernape launched himself above Heatran and rammed his glowing fist into the Lava Dome Pokémon's back, sending it crashing into the ground with swirls in his eyes. Heatran is unable to battle. Infernape wins. Up in the stands, Ash's friends were really getting into the battle now because it looked like the raven-haired trainer might finally win his first league. "Tobias, please send out your next Pokémon. This little shit might actually beat me," Tobias thought as he glared at Ash, his eye narrowing. "I can't let that happen. I can actually beat him," Ash thought, barely containing his excitement. "I have to try and keep this momentum up." "Okay, Tyranitar, end this," Tobias yelled with a shaky voice, tossing out his fifth Pokémon. Ash couldn't help but reminisce briefly about the little Larvitar he helped early on his journey. He would have to find out what happened to the little guy. "Are both trainers ready to continue?" the official asked, looking at both Ash and Tobias, seeing them both nod their heads. "Tyranitar vs. Infernape. Let the battle begin." Tyranitar start this off with Sandstorm. The armor Pokémon roared and suddenly an enormous sandstorm surrounded the entire battlefield. Ash couldn't see Infernape at all and he was starting to worry, because Infernape was slowly taking damage from the sandstorm. Infernape tried to sense where Tyranitar is and use Mach Punch. Infernape closed its eyes and focused on sensing where Tyranitar was. When he found the massive Pokémon, he launched towards Tyranitar, fist glowing brightly. "Grab it!" Tobias exclaimed, much to everyone's shock. As Infernape drew closer, Tyranitar reached out and caught Infernape's Mach Punch with a slight wince. "Throw it into the ground." Tyranitar then lifted a thrashing Infernape and hurled him full force into the ground. "Now end this earthquake." Tyranitar then lifted its large foot and slammed it into the ground with such force that the entire stadium shook for almost a full minute. Ash didn't even need to hear the ref's call to know Infernape was out for the count. Infernape is unable to continue. Tyranitar wins. The official called out once he had regained his footing. "Great job, Infernape, get a good rest," Ash said with a small smile, returning Infernape and shrinking the Pokeball. Don and Barry winced as they witnessed what had happened to Infernape. Paul looked slightly shook up but managed to keep his cool. Reaching onto his belt, Ash grabbed another Pokeball. Only 2 Pokémon left. Ash still has the advantage, but this could still go both ways, Brock stated, with everyone else nodding. "Garchomp, you're up," Ash exclaimed, enlarging and throwing out his only dragon type. Despite Garchomp having mastered Draco Meteor, Piplup still went and hid underneath Don's seat, much to the Bloonet's amusement. Letting out a ferocious roar, the Mach Pokémon landed on the battlefield. "Tyranitar vs. Garchomp, battle begin," the official called out, signaling for the battle to commence. "Garchomp, start things off with Dragon Pulse." Rearing his head back, Garchomp unleashed a powerful stream of Dragon-type energy. "Take it, then use Ice Beam," Tobias commanded in an irritated tone. Dragon Pulse hit Tyranitar straight in the chest, causing the armor Pokémon to grunt in pain. Tyranitar skidded back a few feet back, but it was no worse for wear. A split second later, it launched a large Ice Beam, hitting Garchomp straight in the chest. Ash gasped in worry as Garchomp fell to the ground. "Get up, please. Garchomp, you can do it." Hearing the panic in his trainer's voice, Garchomp used all of his strength and got back onto his feet. Ash was almost in tears when he saw the determination and will Garchomp displayed. "Okay Garchomp, we need to end this now, use Draco Meteor then charge in and use Dragon Rush at full power." Garchomp nodded, then launched a large orange sphere of condensed energy into the air, which exploded into several smaller meteors. As Tyranitar was shielding itself from the attack, Garchomp jumped into the air and surrounded himself in blue draconic energy. Quickly Tyranitar, use Blizzard! Tobias yelled as he watched Garchomp quickly close the distance. Tyranitar moved its arm away and opened its mouth, expelling a freezing wall of ice and snow. Garchomp was hit head-on by the devastating attack, but by sheer will, he pushed forward and crashed into Tyranitar. When the dust finally began to settle, the outcome shocked everyone. Both Pokémon are unable to battle. Both trainers, send out your last Pokémon. The official declared, causing gasps of shock from the crowd. This is it, all our work come down to this last battle. Ash thought as he tightly balled his fists. Back up in the stands, Ash's friends were on their feet cheering their hearts out. Okay Pikachu, it's all up to you, are you ready buddy? Pikachu grinned and eagerly nodded his head as it ran onto the battlefield in front of Ash. Let's do this, Pikachu. This battle has been fun Ash, but it's time for this game to end. Tobias said with a cocky smirk, brushing some hair out of his eyes as he grabbed his last Pokeball. I couldn't agree more Tobias. So who's up next? Ash asked full of confidence as he twisted his cap back. Tobias enlarging the Pokeball, and what came out made Ash and many of his friends gasp. And no way. In front of Ash flew the majestic and beautiful Ho-Oh. Ash's head slightly lowered when saw the Pokemon that had always seemed to guide him throughout his journey, pointing him in the right direction. Much to Ash's surprise, he heard a voice in his head speak to him in a saddened voice. I'm so sorry Chosen One. The last thing I want to do is battle you, but since Tobias has captured me I must obey his command. Ash simply nodded in understanding as he prepared to fight a battle he was probably going to lose. Back in the stands, Misty and Brock were furious at Tobias for using Ho-Oh. They both knew how much that Pokemon meant to Ash. Ho-Oh vs. Pikachu battle begin. The official called out as he overcame his initial shock, seeing the majesty of the enormous Pokemon above him. Ho-Oh use Sacred Fire. The rainbow Pokemon reluctantly launched a stream of searing blue flames at Pikachu. Pikachu dodged and used Thunderbolt. The mouse Pokemon dodged as the flames exploded in front of him. Pikachu then unleashed a powerful Thunderbolt directly at Ho-Oh, causing massive damage. Ho-Oh used Ancient Power. Ho-Oh launched a series of large rocks, pelting Pikachu with them. Now use Fire Blast. The attack hit Pikachu directly as he was recovering from the previous attack. Ash's mind was frozen, he didn't know what to do. Thunderbolt. Ash weakly called out, not knowing what else to do. Pikachu let off the electric attack, hitting Ho-Oh, causing it to scream out in pain. Finish this Ho-Oh, use Brave Bird. Encasing itself in vibrant blue energy, the rainbow Pokemon soared toward Pikachu. You heard him, let's finish this Pikachu, use Volt Tackle. Surrounding himself in flowing electricity, Pikachu charged at Ho-Oh. As both Pokemon raced toward each other, time seemed to slow down. Then a few moments later, it happened, both Pokemon collided with each. At first it looked like Pikachu had won as he was standing, breathing heavily, while Ho-Oh was on the ground. But right as the official was about to call the match, Pikachu fell forward face first, knocked out, as Ho-Oh stood up triumphantly. Pikachu is unable to battle, Ho-Oh wins. Since all 6 of Ash's Pokemon are unable to battle, the winner is Tobias. The crowd was in stunned silence for a moment before they erupted in cheers. Ash then sank to his knees in defeat. We were so close, so close. Ash kept repeating these words in his mind as he gently picked Pikachu up and shook Tobias' hand almost robotically. Back in the stands, most of Ash's friends were saddened at his defeat. However, unknown to him, most of them were sick of Ash getting their hopes up and then dashing them right before their eyes. Ash eventually met up with his friends as he was leaving the stadium. I'm so sorry Ash, you were so close. Don and May said, with Iris and Celine nodding as well. However, as the rest of Ash's friends gave him their condolences, it was all behind a layer of fake sympathy. For some time now, many of Ash's friends had been getting tired of him losing in every league, so they had all gotten together and came to a decision. If Ash had lost the next league he was in, they were gonna break it to him, that he needed to quit. Most of them agreed quickly, but Don, May, Iris, and Celine hesitated. As the four got hard stares from everyone, they quickly agreed as well. "Well, I guess I'll see you guys later," Ash muttered sadly as he walked towards the harbor because he had to catch the next ferry back to Kanto. "Come on guys, we need to make our flight so we can beat him back to Kanto. We need to get everything set up," Brock said as everyone else nodded in agreement. As Ash boarded the ferry back to Kanto, he a sinking feeling in his stomach that something was about to happen when he arrived back home. That's all for today, and thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe the channel for more interesting video, so you don't miss any new video.